Aloha kako, everybody. It's Friday. It's Friday. Happy hour with Miss Happy Mess. I'm Kim, and I'm here with producer Jill. Hi, Jill.
Hey, Kim. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I'm totally resisting singing It's Aloha Friday.
I know.
No work till Monday. I guess I'm not resisting hard enough.
I know.
How has your week been?
Why does it feel like this is the second time we're having our happy hour this week? Maybe because it's been such a long week. I don't know, Kim. What do you think?
Do I answer honestly, or is
uh,
that an Easter egg for us?
that's a little bit of an Easter egg. Let's just say we started earlier and got a little thrown off by, life. So we're back. Now we're ready for a real happy hour.
This is take two
Yes.
for us. Take one for you. The best of us. This is the best of us.
Exactly.
Life is happening. Life is real.
Yes. The
So
Best of Us, season
Mhm.
1.
Exactly. Ooh,
Episode 10, part 2, the finale happy hour.
this is the finale. Yes, this is our first season's last episode. Wow, why was that such an overly complicated way to say this is our season finale? Woo woo!
Boo, boo, boo!
Yeah, so we are wrapping the season with the most exciting book. We had on Dr. Sam Akbar, who is also Jill's very good friend. They've been friends for decades. How did you guys meet, actually?
Oh, it's funny because I was in grad school actually studying film and anthropology, and I was at NYU. And on summer vacation, I had been sharing an apartment with her cousin. And her cousin was like, "There is no air conditioning in this apartment. I'm moving out, and my cousin Sam is moving into my room." And I was like,
Oh.
"What? You're leaving me for air conditioning? Who is this Sam character?" And it's
Who doesn't
amazing.
need air
who
conditioning?
exactly. And it was so funny because she was actually working at this indie bookstore right across the street from our apartment. We were in this cute little neighborhood in New York City. And I didn't talk to her for probably the first week or two because I was like, I didn't ask for this. I don't need any new friends right now. I don't know what's
Oh,
going on. She
were
thinks
you
she's
having a
funny.
little
Oh
tantrum?
my God, I was in a total tantrum. I was like, there's no air conditioning and there's a stranger in my midst, But I just quickly realized how funny she was and how alive she is and how adventurous she is. And I could not resist hanging out with her. And we've been friends ever since.
Oh my God. Any woman who does not need air conditioning, I mean, that's
No. Oh my gosh, I
that's
know.
resilience.
Exactly. And speaking of happy hour, another one of my friends, one of my best friends living in the city, Katie Weinstein, she taught us how to make, oh gosh, I'm going to forget the name of the drink. I can't remember what drink it was, but it's like, ugh, there's some great drink that has like fresh squeezed orange juice in it, and it's some kind of cocktail. But Katie taught us how to make it because it was literally like 100 degrees. It was a heat wave that summer. And so Sam and Katie and I would go to the roof of our apartment and drink cocktails and like slush the ice around. And then apart from that, just literally like lay on the couch waiting for the heat to pass. It
Oh
was
my God.
insane. We would even like take bus rides just to have air conditioning, go to the movies just to feel cold air that summer.
Oh my God.
So
That
yeah,
feels
we
like right
bonded.
now, honestly. We're in a heat wave like right now, and it's miserable.
It's
S-
insane. It was just
And I
like
have air
that.
conditioning, so I should shut the
Yeah,
front door
it was
because
just
I
like
have air
that minus
conditioning.
the air conditioning.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, we
crazy.
even went up to another friend who had an air conditioner she was giving away, and we picked it up and carried it downstairs from her building. It was uptown, and then wanted to take it to a taxi. The taxi refused to let us put it in there. It was so freaking heavy that we had to abandon the free air conditioner on the street and go back home to our
No!
roof and to our cocktails.
No! Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's hilarious. Wow. And now she is a clinical psychologist and a Oxford trained classicist. I mean, she has a love for Greek mythology, which is so inspiring that it made me interested in Greek mythology, which I haven't honestly thought about since I was like freshman year of theater 101 when we were talking about the Greeks and Oedipus and Euripides and all of those kind of things. But she totally got me back into it, um, and ready for this Christopher Nolan movie, The Odyssey.
Me too.
Um,
Yeah, because I'd been hearing about the movie and I was like, ooh, look at that cast. Ooh, I want to see that movie. And I like Christopher Nolan's movies a lot of the
yeah.
time. But there was something about reading the book to prepare for your interview with Sam that got me like next level interested and excited about it. Because I probably I don't know if I'd ever read the Odyssey before. Maybe I read it once. Maybe I thought it was interesting, but I really had forgotten about it for the most part and thought, oh, that's just a story about a dude who travels alone and has nothing to do with me. Her book completely shifted my perspective on that, you know?
Totally. Totally. Her book, The Odyssey Mindset, I was in it. Like it made me so, because honestly, I wasn't excited about seeing the Christopher Nolan movie. No shade on him or the movie or the cast or anything. It just, I don't know. I wasn't excited about it. And then when I was reading her book, all of a sudden I was so excited about going to see the movie that I started getting super nerdy and was like, oh, I have to watch this on IMAX. Oh, we have to watch this in 7 millimeter. And I went
Hmm.
from like, I don't care if I ever see this movie to being like, I have to see it in this format because that is the gold standard and that is how they shot it.
Totally.
So her book really, really inspired me. And it's because through her book, I could see myself and my questions, and then that also led to seeing all the questions I've sort of been asking throughout the season, right? Like
Hmm.
about whether we stay and go in relationships, talking about our bodies and when we know about our bodies, even when our mind is not sure, or outside doctors are telling us it's not sure, or about the diaspora and finding home no matter where you are. Um, there's just so many questions that I had in season one and we discussed in season one that's really covered in the Odyssey mindset. And then is also because it's in the Homer's poem, sort of hit me that this would be our season finale because it really organically just encapsulates everything we've been talking about
Totally.
season
I
one.
even think like the fact that, the podcast is called Miss Happy Mess and we're
Mhm.
acknowledging, hey, our lives are messy. That's just part of being human and being alive. And we want to feel joy and we want to ask the hard questions and we want to do it in community with each other so we don't feel alone and it's not as hard when we're together. But I also feel like how crazy that's kind of what this Odysseus, story is about too. His life is a hot effing mess, you know? I mean, he has the messiest life. And I think one of the most interesting things that Sam had talked about at some point was this idea that everything he had planned in his life, like he was like, it's like you grow up and you're like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get this kind of education, or marry this kind of person, or have these kinds of kids, or pursue this kind of purpose. In his life, he might have had all of those thoughts. And the only thing that worked out the way he planned it was a peaceful death. And I was like, whoa,
Mm,
that is
yeah.
deep because it makes me feel better about the things that don't go to plan, which is the majority of things.
No matter how well you plan it out.
Yeah. I mean, that's what pivoting is about on some level. And
Hmm.
that's what just
Yeah.
staying open to, hey, life is going to throw a lot of curves your way.
I agree. And I feel like that's so much of, at least where I'm at right now, is just figuring out what is the path. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And every step of the way of the Odyssey, the question is this the right way? Is the wind taking us the right way? Should we stay on this island? Should we leave the island? Like,
right.
where are we going? Can we trust who's in control? Can we trust the person who's in front of us? Like, what is the path? What is the path? I feel like all these big questions kind of come down to what is the path? What
Totally.
is my path? And am I on the right path? I don't know.
Yeah. And to mix metaphors a little bit, one of the things you have talked about also is like, what does it feel like? Even in the interview, you talked about like, well, how do I know what my authentic self is? How do I
Yeah.
know what I should be doing or what I want to be doing at any given time? And you've asked, how do I know if I'm in flow? So it's interesting to think about the path. Is somebody else charting it? Or if it's like a boat water metaphor, like, am I on a boat that somebody else is the captain of? Or am
Hmm.
I flowing down my own river? And what does that look like?
Yeah. And I love that she even talks about in our interview, she talks about Odysseus has to make his own boat
Hmm.
from the ruins of his ship to get off of the island with
Yeah. Yeah.
Calypso,
Calypso.
right?
Hmm.
He has to make that boat because it has to be his.
Yeah.
And then also talking about values. Values, we talk about values in that interview and it totally changed my perception on things, because this idea that, like, what are your values, because no matter what you're doing in life, those are the things that stay strong for you. And so when you're in a good place, your values are kind of clicking along, but when you're in conflict, your values stay strong. And if you're with someone who doesn't value the same thing, then you can be in total opposition with them and not understand it unless you can understand your values. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
And that was like eye opening for me, because I've never thought about somebody else's values or my values. And then I've never thought about, like, if I'm in a relationship with somebody and we don't share the same values, when we're in conflict, it's definitely not going to work out because we're not actually fighting for the same thing of importance. Like,
Yes. Yes. I think that's really important in relation to know what your values are and what the values of your partner are, whether it's, your romantic partner or your business partner or your friends or whatever. So you can
yeah,
figure out what's working or why is something feeling off right now? Like the way Sam was also talking about, because you were like, well, how do you know when, when maybe you've been in the relationship for too long or it's not working? And she's like,
yeah,
it's about a pattern
yeah,
of feeling off consistently, something not being right, and that's listening to yourself. I think it's also interesting, though, when you think about values, that maybe you have a certain set of agreed upon values in a relationship, but I also believe maybe your values change as much as you change over the course of your life. So, for example, if one of my, initial values was monogamy, I have to be in a monogamous marriage forever till I
mhm,
die, no matter what. Like, if I go into that and I'm super rigid about it and the world changes and people around me are talking about other things, I don't have to change my value. But sometimes being super rigid with a value that was created just because I read about it or heard about it or it was the popular culture thing
right.
may also not be me being in flow with my life. I'm not saying I don't want to be in monogamous relationships. For anybody who's listening, I am not
I mean,
saying that.
all honestly, all I could think of is, wow, she's in a polygamous
I am
relationship.
not saying that. Somebody suggested maybe polyamory is not such a bad idea. Maybe it's not, but I'm also not saying that I'm interested in that right now.
I was just thinking Jill has 14 boyfriends. That's all I was
No,
thinking.
exactly. And I don't want to hear from any of them right now about this.
Oh,
No,
please.
just
I
kidding.
do. I do.
Ah!
I'll take all the comments.
But I do think it's interesting that we can also, over the course of our lives, look at what our values are and how maybe we want or need them to change as the world changes or as our needs change or as the part of life we're in changes.
And on the flip side, I realize like one of my values is my family. My family is a huge value. Even if I'm fighting with my family, even if I don't get along with my family, at the end of the day, I have a very strong family value. And if I'm with somebody who is an independent person who does not value community and family, but instead values individual survival,
Hmm.
that's not going to work for me
Yeah,
because my value is so strong in community that if I'm with somebody who values individualism above all else, we're constantly going to be in conflict, maybe not on a day to day basis, but when the big things happen, we won't see eye to eye because I'm coming at it as a community member and that person's coming at it as an individual. So that can't work,
totally.
And that wouldn't be something that I could have articulated in the past
Hmm.
because how do you articulate that? When you're fighting about the holidays or you're fighting about traveling together or whatever, how do you articulate, oh, your values are yourself and
Yeah.
what's good for you and my values are actually not what's good for me but what's good for the group.
Right. Because sometimes you can articulate it because you've experienced it before, maybe. Like it was, and sometimes you just don't know until it happens. And now you can articulate it because you're doing that right now.
Yeah.
But it's like we're learning over the course of all of these experiences. And I liked it when Sam talked about that too, that sometimes people from, really dysfunctional households know more of what they can and cannot offer and put up with. And sometimes have healthier relationships because of it, if they've done the work and if they can articulate what did not work for them.
And that led to like found family too, right? Because if you come from highly dysfunctional families, you can still have family values, but it happens to be around found family. And then just like Odysseus, when he's traveling for most of that Odyssey, he's with found family. He's trying to get back to his family, but his found family is very important to him. These instances and situations and examples, they're not just relevant for an intimate partner, they're relevant for all relationships. Like you had said, it's for friendships and coworkers and just and children, everybody, all the relationships matter and they're all complicated. And I feel like the book really helped me analyze different ways of seeing the world and me being a little bit more empathetic for myself and then also for everybody else, see the world in other people's shoes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also crazy that this book was written like 2,700 years ago, like the
Yeah.
Odyssey itself.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about men crying in it. Like the
Oh
topics that
yeah.
come up in it are so relevant
Yeah.
today. I love that you kind of dug into that a little bit too with Sam.
Thought it was interesting because, in the book she's talking about like we start on the Odyssey with Odysseus crying on the beach and he's not like holding it back. He's like crying on the beach because he's so sad and lost and has sacrificed so much and he misses his family so much. And just the readiness and ability to sit and cry openly, it just says so much about how we have changed as humans, right? Like when we
Hmm.
say crying and men, there's usually a stigma around it and that men don't cry. And I
Hmm.
feel like also that's sort of passed on to women too. Like crying is just not a thing we do. You know what I mean? Because it's so likened to some sort of feminine weakness.
Or yeah, or it's perceived as sometimes, like sometimes we do it, but sometimes it's perceived as a manipulation. Sometimes it's
Mm,
perceived as just not somebody expressing their real emotions. Like I like that Sam said it actually is cathartic. It's
yeah.
actually some kind of hormonal thing that helps you feel better, you
Yeah,
know?
I didn't know that. Crying actually makes you feel
I
better. Who
know. Who
knew?
knew?
Ah.
I mean, actually, it reminds me of a song from Free to Be You and Me, that 1970s album. But they're like, it's all right to cry. Crying gets the sad out of you. It might make you
Yeah.
feel better. We hear it and we forget it all of the
Yeah.
time because
Yeah.
I think that's like this culture we live in where it's like, yeah, but just toughen up, just push through.
And in her book, she's saying Odysseus cries, Achilles cries.
Hmm.
There's a lot of crying in the poem. There's no crying in Christopher Nolan's rendition, I believe.
I know. So this is our review for the Christopher Nolan film. He forgot the tears.
But okay, wait. Can we do a little review
Yes, do
about the
it.
Christopher Nolan? So I'm really curious to think how everybody else, what they saw. But I didn't get a chance to see it on IMAX or 7 millimeter. It was totally sold out for like a month. Every single ticket, even at 3 a.m. screenings and 6 a.m. screenings, unless I wanted to sit in the front row of IMAX, which I do not. Anyways, so we did see it on opening weekend in a regular theater and it was amazing. The spectacle of it in true Greek fashion was amazing. The shots, the stunts, the acting, gorgeous. And amount of in-camera shooting was awesome. Like so not CGI. And the way he dealt with the story, I also thought was really interesting. The way he kind of handled flashbacks and moving and time. I appreciated all of that. But I I never felt deeply at any point in the movie except when the dog dies, when he sees the dog and the dog dies. Sorry, that's a spoiler alert. It's just a moment. But that's when I felt like I had the most investment into something, into a character. And it was between the dog and Odysseus. But other than that, I didn't feel moved to cry. And I didn't have a cathartic experience,
Hmm.
which in the Greek classics is very important, right? It's all about catharsis. So for me, I didn't experience that except for when the dog died.
Well, what's interesting about that, you're making me wonder because Sam talked a lot about how, these poems, like this epic poem originally would have been read and listened to by people or performed
Yeah.
and not read in a book, but it would have been actually performed. They would have listened to the words, they would have felt the feelings, which makes me wonder if it would have been, and I'm not an expert at any of this, obviously, but would they mostly be listening to this story as told through Odysseus's voice? Because he was a storyteller, right? And I'm not
Mm.
sure I felt like I was actually getting his POV on his story. Because if it had been Matt Damon from Good Will Hunting telling me the story of all this shit he was going through, I would have been down for the freaking count and would not have eaten a single piece of my popcorn. you know? But I think I almost felt like his story was othered. And then we saw all these amazing strong women helping him push him through his story and support him through his story. But it did feel like a third person perspective on his story rather than him just telling me his story. Like I would have loved to have seen him arrive on the island with Calypso. I would have loved to have seen him in that moment of abandon and just like, thank God my ass is saved. I didn't drown. Who's this gorgeous woman? And then I would love to have seen the moment where he woke up, freaked out, like, wait, where's my family? What am I
Right.
doing
Right.
here?
And what is this white
Get me
lotus?
out of here. Exactly. Wait, where are my men?
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe some of it was in his voice, but I don't feel like enough of it was in his voice. So I agree with you, is what I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the actual poem and stuff, but I know in classical Greek plays, there's usually a chorus
Mm,
that uses as a device to talk about what's happening, right?
yeah,
Like there's actual characters that say their parts, but then also there's the chorus that kind of is the world and society and stuff. But those are plays, and this is a poem, so it's
yeah,
fundamentally a different medium. But yeah, I because I thought about Titanic
yeah.
in as reference just because Titanic was a huge film of its time. It was also 3 hours long. It had done all of the scope of everything. There were moments in Titanic where I cried. Like I so
You know
upset.
why, Kim? I think I know what you're trying to say. I hate to put words in your mouth, but
Okay.
there was no romance.
Well, no, you know what's
And going
interesting
back
is
to your wife does not count as romance. Let's just
no,
be clear.
no. But you know what though is I wasn't necessarily the moment in Titanic that I was most sad about was not between Rose and Jack. It was when the mother was putting her children to sleep. They were in the lowest class steerage or whatever,
Oh
and
yeah.
she knew they were gonna drown, and she
Hmm.
was like telling them it's okay, we're gonna go to sleep now, it's fine. And I just
Yeah.
was like, oh my god, that's so it just moved. I'm like
Yeah,
gonna
I know
cry
what you
just thinking about
mean.
now.
Or even like the musicians who were like, okay, I guess we're gonna keep
Yes.
playing, you
Yes, and
know?
it was been a pleasure playing with you all. Like,
Hmm.
I think those moments really tugged at me so strong, and they were almost like rips of sadness and grounding of what the scope of the situation was.
Yeah.
I didn't get that except for the dog. The dog was my
Yeah.
one thing.
I honestly think that Christopher Nolan is a brilliant filmmaker, but I think he's speaking to what speaks to men, which is his
Yeah.
prerogative because that's his point of view. You know,
Yeah.
that's probably where he
Yeah.
comes from. And so I imagine I would be curious. Like, I'm curious if any men watched it. Did they feel like tugs in their heart? Did they see
Mm.
themselves? Did they feel emotional?
And if they didn't, do they even care? Is that what they were even going to the movie to see?
Right. Or are they mad because there weren't more war scenes? LOL.
Right. But honestly, maybe that's a different expectation of what a good movie is, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe they're not looking for that at all. Or maybe they are. I don't know. Chime
Yeah.
in, men.
But so I think that's what Sam's book does. It gives me what
Yeah.
I'm looking for in the Odyssey story. Like in that classic story, now I see a human being on a journey, a human being with a messy life, a human being with agency and decisions to make. And I see
Yeah.
myself. And it just, that was what I loved about it. So now I am listening to the actual, audible version of the Odyssey from Emily Wilson.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And is it told as a poem or is there dialogue?
Um, It's actually interesting because it's more of an interpretation of the story where she's telling you the story and then will refer to chapters in the
Mm.
original text, kind of like Sam does in her book. So
Hmm.
it's not a direct translation. I would say it's more of like an interpretation.
Oh, cool. But she reads it. Like, is
Yeah.
it kind
Oh, Claire
of,
Danes reads it.
ooh,
Hello. Love her. I
oh,
know.
okay.
Which tells you everything you need to know. It's good.
Nice. Okay. Oh, I'll check that out.
Like, it makes me actually wanna see a lot more interpretations of it on screen now. I think there's a
Yeah.
huge opportunity for that. Like, it should be like the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Yeah,
Now we'll
exactly.
tell Athena's version of
Well,
the story.
yeah, I was gonna say, and now we'll tell Penelope's version
Now we'll tell
because also,
Calypso's, exactly.
yeah, yeah, and the thing that we never got into this as much as I wanted to in the episode, but we never really talk about Penelope. We didn't talk about Athena or Calypso or, um, oh my God, what's the other Samantha Morton?
Oh,
She's so
yeah, the
awesome.
one who turned them
Sirius,
into pigs.
Sirius,
Yeah,
yeah.
she was amazing.
Penelope has a whole journey and just doesn't even leave her room.
I
You know what I
know, she's, like,
mean?
locked herself into her own cage to protect herself from all of those crazy suitors.
And that is a whole journey
Those
in and
crazy
of
drunk
itself.
suitors.
Yeah, she yeah, exactly. She doesn't need to leave to actually go on a journey.
Mhm.
Um, and I just thought that was so fascinating. Her character was so steadfast and so strong in her own right.
Yeah, and not unlike real life, while also catering to the outside world and their demands,
Yeah,
you
and being a
know?
good hostess. My
Yeah.
God.
My favorite thing was how she was, like, weaving that thing and then unweaving it every night so she'd never be ready to get married.
Yeah, exactly. I really enjoyed that conversation. Thank you for introducing me to Sam
Oh,
and
you're
the
welcome.
book. She's so fabulous. And it was so great as if she ever came here to LA one day, maybe we could do a workshop with her. I don't know. I'm just spitballing,
Sign
but
me
it
up,
was
I would be
so
in right
awesome.
away.
I guess that's the end of the season, Jill. We did it.
That's kinda the end of the season, we're excited, but that doesn't mean we're done with the show, guys. We are not
No.
going anywhere. Actually, we are going somewhere. We're going back to Hawaii.
Woo
We
woo.
are in development for season 2. We're going to be shooting hopefully 5 episodes in a couple of weeks. So what it really means
Yay.
is we'll be down for the month of August without airing any new episodes because we're getting ready to bring you a lot of more great content that'll start in September.
Go back, listen to episodes maybe that you've missed. Please share an episode that you love with someone. If you can share the podcast with someone, that would mean a world of difference to us. You can share it on YouTube, which seems to be so easy. You know, you can just grab that link and share it in your text message, emails, however you want to do it. But sharing would be so much caring for us, and we would just really, really appreciate it.
Don't forget to subscribe if you're into it. And boom, 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 we are on iHeartRadio now.
Woo
Very exciting.
woo!
Kim figured it out and got us on there.
Yes, and Audible. Audible coming soon, if not
Yes,
already up.
exactly.
So,
So when we say
yay!
wherever you listen to your podcast, we mean wherever you listen to
Wherever
your
you listen to your
podcast.
podcast.
Yes.
Well, happy hour has been so fun, Jill. I have to tell you, this is one of my favorite parts of the week, is just chatting with you, because I love
Aw.
chatting with you so much.
This is so fun. Ditto, right back at you.
Thank you.
This is the unexpected gift and surprise of even producing this series, is that we get to talk so much more and we get to process everything in real time, which feels
Oh
so
my God.
rare in this world where everything is moving so fast.
It is so, it's such a gift to process something with a friend. So thank you for that. Okay, guys. Well, that's the end of happy hour. And thank you for listening to us for season 1. It's been really a joy and a pleasure for us to be able to share with you, and for you guys to be sharing back with us through your comments. I just can't emphasize enough how much we appreciate you listening, and we appreciate just all of your energy. So mahalo, 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 mahalo. And we will see you in season 2. Okay. Have a great Friday, everybody. Ahui ho. Take care. Bye.